welcome back. I know it's been a while since I uploaded, but I wanted to take my time with this one, because I am so excited to share this new series with you all. So for those of you who don't already know, I'm going to be reading and reacting to horror stories from a new subreddit. And this first one is entitled The Girl Who Painted Ghosts, and it is actually pretty long, which is unusual for a Reddit post. So let's jump into it. In the dusty outskirts of an old Moroccan town where the call to prayer echoed off crumbling minarets and the desert wind whispered secrets through the alleyways, lived a quiet girl named Salma, at age 16. She rarely spoke, but her paintings told stories no one dared to imagine. She lived with her grandfather, a retired Quran teacher who raised her with discipline and deep faith. Ever since her parents died in a mysterious house fire when she was 7, Salma had withdrawn from the world except for her art. She painted obsessively, using old brushes and homemade pigments. But her canvases were never of landscapes or people. They were of shadows, figures with hollow eyes, twisted limbs and faces contorted in silent screams. The townspeople whispered that she had the cursed ability to see what others couldn't. But Salma never claimed anything. She only painted and prayed. One night her grandfather entered her room after hearing her mutter in her sleep. He found her sitting cross-legged on the floor, her eyes wide open, painting on a canvas lit by a single candle. The image showed a pale, veiled woman standing behind him. But when he turned around, no one was there. He tore the canvas from her hands and shouted, "Seek refuge in Allah." These are whispers of shayateen, but Selma didn't flinch. She simply whispered, "She won't leave me until I finish her face." The next morning, her grandfather packed their bags. They would leave for Fez, where he knew a righteous man, and exorcists who understood the jinn and their But Salma refused to leave. "They'll follow. They always follow," she said calmly, staring at the wall where her half-finished painting hung. That night, she locked herself in her room. No one knows what happened after that, not exactly. But when the call to Fajr prayer echoed through the neighborhood, the neighbors noticed her window was open, curtains fluttering despite the windless dawn. Her grandfather called for her, then broke down the door. She was gone. Only the painting remained, now finished. It showed the veiled woman in full, her eyes bleeding black, holding a canvas of her own. And inside that painting was a figure that looked just like Salma, screaming silently, forever frozen in oils and shadows. The old man destroyed every one of her canvases in a roaring fire behind the mosque. But some say he kept that last painting hidden in a locked chest, wrapped in thick wool and tied with Quranic verses. Years passed, the house stood abandoned, and the story became legend. Until last month, a group of urban explorers found the house and live-streamed their visit on social media. Among the dust and cobwebs, one of them discovered a torn canvas nailed to the wall in the attic. It was half-finished, but fresh brushstrokes still wet, and in the corner barely visible were the words, "Help me finish her face." Since then, none of the boys have been seen again. And late at night, if the wind is just right, the townspeople say you can hear the sound of a paintbrush dragging across canvas and a girl's voice whispering softly, "One more stroke, just one more stroke." Okay, well, first of all, wow, this story really paints a picture. No pun intended. I thought the descriptions were very vivid, and the author definitely has a talent for storytelling. There's something about the way they wove the traditional elements, like the jinn and the whole Muslim culture and setting. It's very intriguing and immersive. But at the same time, they handle these sensitive topics respectfully, which is really important to me. When I read ghost stories or horror stories, especially ones based on religious folklore, I have to make sure that the author isn't being disrespectful towards any religion, beliefs, because that is something that I am personally very passionate about. So overall, I really enjoyed this story, and it has honestly given me some great ideas for my own spooky season videos. I am definitely going to be exploring more horror subreddits because I've heard some amazing stories from other platforms, and I want to bring those stories to life for you guys too. So if you have any suggestions, or if you've ever submitted your story to r/nosleep or one of those other subreddits and you want me to read it, please send it my way. I will be accepting submissions via email for now, but I may set up a form later on. I just need a little bit of time to get used to this new format, sort of like getting back into the swing of things. And I do want to thank everyone who wished me a happy birthday over the weekend. I feel very loved and supported, and most of all, I am so grateful to be able to share my stories with you guys, and I hope that you enjoy them. Alright, before we end this video, I want to talk about a few of your comments from my last video. First, are you going to make another one? Please come back, and the answer is yes. I am taking a small break to regroup and recharge, but I'll be back before you know it. Okay, next comment. I don't know why, but I really like this layout. It feels like the videos are longer, but in a good way. Well, thank you for noticing. I did make a few changes to the set, and I am still playing around with the lighting, but I appreciate you letting me know how you feel about it. Next, can't wait for more. This is my favorite channel ever. You are awesome, AW. I am trying to be better though. I really want to step up my game and keep improving with every video. So thank you for the encouragement. And last but not least, happy early birthday. Hope you have a great day today. Thank you for the birthday wishes, and I'm glad you liked the video. Okay, I think that's all for this week. I'm still figuring out this new schedule and trying to find my groove again. So bear with me, but I promise it will be worth it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media to stay up to date on all things spooky. Until next time, remember, some monsters are born, some monsters are made, and I will see you in the next one.